But I do want to bring to the attention, every day it's going to heat up about our Bengals deal with the ownership. I want to be clear, this is not the deal with the players. We don't deal with the players. We don't negotiate the players who's going to be on the field. We're like everybody else. We speculate and say, we hope we get this one, we hope we get that one, and we're like the rest of the fans. But it's just like when a player has to go in and negotiate a contract, it gets a little dicey. Because the player got to get the contract before they could actually get on the field and do their thing. And so our contract is coming up, and that lease can be renewed as is for 2 more years, and they can do that 5 times. So that's a 10-year extension potentially on the lease we have now. And I want to reiterate, because those who might just be joining the conversation and the debate, that this board was not around when this happened. I don't even think I was in politics then. I think 1997 is when it came about. And we're trying to work out of a deal that has been one-sided. And one-sided meaning that the taxpayers are on the hook for everything, over 94%. And so we're trying to work out of it. It's tough when they've got 10 potential extensions. They'll have to let us know, I believe, in June. And when you're trying to work out of that type of hole, anybody that's in business understands that's a very tough thing to do. But we have been trying to work out of it because the taxpayers, as you can see, it's some tough times. The property taxes going up, and cost of living is going up, and people are losing their jobs, furloughed, forced into retirement. So we're trying to figure out how can we give the taxpayers a break. And so you will hear people say we want a market rate lease. I'm here to tell you I want a taxpayer-friendly lease. And our job is to negotiate on behalf of the taxpayers. And of course, being on ownership, their job is on behalf of their ownership. And so when you have that, there will be back and forth. When you're trying to get out of a deal where 94% is going to on the backs of the taxpayers, it might get a little rough, because that's what negotiations are. But in the end, we're hoping that we come out with a better deal. However, Bengals ownership in this lease, the keys are in their hands if they want to continue. With that being said, there's a lot going on at the State House. The state, because we understand the state got to put some money in. Tennessee, they put hundreds of millions of dollars in. They got to put some money in because we got to change the financial deck. NFL got to put some money in. I'm not talking about chump change. They got to put some money in. They've done it in other cities. And so there was an article that came out, says draft budget amendment tailor-made for the Browns and shuts out the Bengals. And I want to be clear that at the state, I did get a chance to meet with the governor when I was the president at that time. And we said, well, listen, we can't be late to the table. We can't be getting the crumbs. I've been in the state legislature. Up north gets everything, and then down south, we got to fight all the time on every issue, not just this, every issue. They think about us last. I don't care if you're a Republican or Democrat, it's always a fight to get our fair share down here, to get our respect. And so it says the legislators have, someone in the legislature has put amendment they claim is likely an oversight, but that's why we got to keep our eyes on it. Can't say, oh man, we're broke now. We gave everything to Cleveland. In Cincinnati, we don't have anything available. So we did have a meeting, our board, with our legislators from down here, and we put on the table that we're gonna need some money, some help. And we're ahead of Cleveland, because Cleveland's gonna take empty land and then say we're gonna build around it, and then those dollars will go into helping to pay back a loan. We are already on the banks. And so we already got stuff already up, but we haven't gotten credit for those dollars that we bring in that also the state benefits for. So I know it'll be a lot more, but I wanted to put that out there because I know it made the news. Also made the news, Bengals once again saying we're slow walking. I'm gonna ask Mr. Aluotto, because I don't wanna be slow walking. I've been asking to get down to the business of the lease. And every time they show up, it's, oh, well, can you fix the seats right now for $39 million? And we'll get back to it. And we ran and did the seats. Oh, can you help with the field right now? We'll get back to the lease. We went and put the grass down, or whatever they call it, some irrigation or whatever, so they can be on the grass. Now they come back, well, can you fix the luxury boxes? And we'll get back to you. Oh, can you do the carpet? And we'll get back to you. Oh, can you do the elevators that go up to the suites? Not the escalator that goes up to the, 300s or whatever. And I've asked Mr. Aluotto, and I'm saying this because our commissioners, we don't get to talk to each other per se. I wanted to say that I asked Mr. Aluotto that when you're in a negotiation, you usually put a stop to everything and say, let's get down to the paper and the pen. Are you gonna continue, or are we gonna be able to get a new deal? We don't just keep a la carte. And then they say to the media, the county is slowing down. I have issues with that. And so maybe we'll have another update at one of our meetings, Commissioner, where we are. But we have been, as a county, and Commissioner, you can attest to this, we have been saying, let's push forward. We asked to do the lease last year. They said, oh, let's get through the season, is what I was told by Mr. Aluotto. So I just wanted to highlight that I'm ready to get out the blank piece of paper, to get out an ink pen, and let's get down to the lease. Can we get a deal, or can we not get a deal? And I think the taxpayers deserve to know. But Mr. Aluotto, when you go in there and we've got this person we hired, I want them to go in with the understanding that grandma's property taxes went up. They were promised 30%, and they need to be able to be good on that promise. We can't keep saying we can't keep the promise. We did it this year, and two of us that are here now, we voted for it. We have to vote for it every year. When you go into the negotiation, I want you to remember that there's a gentleman out here trying to take care of his kids and his family, and they done cut his hours. I want them to go in and remember that federal employees have lost their jobs when we go in and negotiate these leases. And so that's why I had some concern about this arena. Not that I want to be clear, I'm not against an arena. But my concern was taking the money that we already in debt with 2 stadiums, and we ain't paid that debt off yet. And now you're saying go to that same pot. And that's the same pot we said we can't get to 30% because we ain't got enough money, and use that pot for an arena without solving what's on the table that Hamilton County, we're responsible for. Whether you like it or not, we're responsible for these 2 stadiums that we've got to try to pay off. So I wanted to say that, and I also wanted to add, concerning to the arena, that I didn't get to say before, I think the planning that happened before any of us was here is the reason we're in the condition that we're in with the arena. Yes, the arena is old. It was good looking 20-some years ago. It's a senior facility now. It's older. But the one thing about the heritage is that, from my understanding, they put up private money. My understanding, they got to pay property taxes. And I would like the new arena to assume the same thing. I'm for new, but can it be privately funded? Can it pay property taxes? And then in Cincinnati, unfortunately, everybody wanted to have their own little arenas. In Louisville, University of Louisville, that's Yum Center. They don't have a campus thing. You go downtown, they play their games downtown Louisville, and now they can have concerts. UD Arena, they're not on their campus. You come off the highway before you even get to UD. You can have games and you can have other events. They didn't put it on campus. UC put their arena on their campus. They wanted to have their own. Xavier put their arena on their campus. Centos, we getting ready to go to it. They wanted to have their own. So we got all these little arenas everywhere, and we didn't do like some of these other areas, and they want to champion these other areas. The problem is everybody wanted their own little arenas. And now we're at a situation, we're not like Louisville, we're not like UD, and that's why we're in the situation that we're in. I wish we could have collaborated earlier, but we wasn't around. And so that's why when people say, oh, they got it in Dayton, well, they're not on campus. They got it in Louisville, they're not on campus. That's why we're in this predicament. So wanted to just highlight that, Commissioner Dumas. Those were the things that I had, and I brought up the Bengals thing because it's in the news, and I wanted to make sure that it was known that we are not slowing, that I know of. Now, Mr. Aluotto, you can tell us if you are slowing it up. But my understanding from our directive was not to slow up, but to move forward. Is what I thought. So that's all.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you.
Reece, on your questions on the status of the team negotiations, I'll just say no. As I think the board is aware, no one is slow walking this process. We were moving expeditiously. We're moving purposefully on this. We've had direct conversations with team leadership on some of the major terms of the lease and the county's perspective on those terms. We're preparing to bring those conversations to an additional level of detail to continue that. We've had direct conversations with the team on right-sizing the capital program so that we have a good understanding of the actual renovation that we're talking about. We have, as Commissioner Reece, as the entire board is aware, we've had direct conversations with the state, with the governor's office, on trying to ensure that we get state funding here to offset some of the local property, local taxpayer burden on the stadium. The governor has included an element, actually very directly included the county's strategy in in the governor's budget proposal. That is now in the House. There's been some amendments made to the governor's proposal. We are aware of the bill and the amendment that the Haslams have submitted, and we have a team in Columbus that are working very diligently on making sure that, as both commissioners are aware, when things like this get into the budget process, there's a lot of different proposals that start getting fleshed out, and we want to make sure that we are in some ways that we're leading those proposals in some way, and at the same time making sure that we are a part of any other proposal that is made to make sure that the folks here in Hamilton County benefit just the same as they would up in Northeast Ohio as well. So we're working on that as well. So there's a lot more to come on this, but no one is slow walking. We're moving expeditiously on this, and we'll get the board a fuller report on this in the coming days.
Great.
That's all I have.